Week 40. Day 274, on constant movement. Well, I always know what I want. And when you know what you want, you go toward it. Sometimes you go very fast, and sometimes only an inch a year. Perhaps you feel happier when you go fast. I don't know. I've forgotten the difference long ago, because it really doesn't matter, so long as you move. Ayn Rand. Constant movement is the key to a successful life because humans are programmed to always be on the mission to improve their lives. The journey in itself can give life meaning, and obsessing about not being able to shorten it can only bring unnecessary frustration. In addition to that, certain goals require years, or sometimes even decades, to achieve, and there's little, if anything, you can do to turn them into reality sooner. Complaining only breeds negativity, which does nothing to help you attain your goals. You might think that it doesn't make sense to work on a goal if your progress is slow and you consequently feel tempted to give up. But what's the alternative? If you give up, you're guaranteed to not meet your objectives. What sense does it make to give up, frustrated by the slow progress, and then resort to wishing you could somehow magically turn your dream into reality? Day 275, on staying a champion. You will never be entirely comfortable. This is the truth behind the champion, he is always fighting something. To do otherwise is to settle. Julian Smith. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you expect that one day all discomfort will be gone from your life and you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of your hard labor for the rest of your days, you're wrong. If you not only want to become a champion, but also stay a champion, by definition you'll always need to fight something, fight to reach a new goal, overcome hardships, expand your comfort zone, and continue improving yourself little by little. For example, at the time I'm writing this, it's been 2 years since I started rock climbing. I used to be terrified of heights and taking falls. While my fear of heights and taking falls has greatly diminished, I'm still not free, and will never be free, from fear and discomfort when I'm climbing. If you want to improve your climbing, you need to climb harder and harder routes. They will still make you uncomfortable and scared. Even the best rock climbers in the world still feel fear and experience discomfort, just like skydivers, public speakers, successful business people, athletes, and any other top performers. If you'd like to stay a champion, accept the fact that discomfort is here to stay. Embrace it as a teacher that will strengthen you and help you achieve ever greater feats, not as an annoying part of the process that you'd like to put behind as quickly as possible. Day 276, on the price of personal growth. Personal growth has its price, and she was paying it without complaint. Paulo Coelho. As we've discussed it in yesterday's entry, staying a champion means that you'll always need to put yourself in new, uncomfortable situations. It's the price you have to pay for excellence. Personal growth in general has its price, too. From my personal experience, here are several things you should expect on your journey toward improving your life. 1. People being confused about your actions. Unless you're surrounding yourself solely with top performers, your immediate social circle will probably be puzzled why you're subjecting yourself to discomfort, prioritizing work over enjoying yourself, or rejecting pleasures today for the sake of tomorrow. The sooner you learn to ignore those voices, the better off you'll be. 2. Outgrowing certain people in your life. It's painful, but you'll probably outgrow some friends or loved ones. You'll find it harder to connect with them and they'll find it harder to connect with you. This doesn't necessarily have to happen in every situation and with everyone, but prepare yourself for the reality that some of your relationships will probably weaken or stop being as fulfilling as they used to be. 3. An incessant desire to improve everything. Once you start making positive changes in your life and experience in your own skin how powerful new habits and attitudes can be, you'll feel the desire to improve everything. This can be a source of frustration when you realize that certain people don't want to change or that certain social mores actually value mediocrity over excellence. 4. Self-guilt that you have it better than other people. As strange as it sounds, if you successfully introduce some important changes in your life, develop a healthy physique, form positive nutritional habits, set aside some savings and find meaningful work you enjoy or at least one that satisfies you financially, you might start feeling guilty that others have it worse. Considering that most people are either obese, unhealthy, broke, or unhappy at work, chances are that you will indeed live a better life than they are living. However, in the end you gain the right to enjoy the life you have now through your own efforts. Don't feel guilty because you made better choices. Other people could have done the same. 5. A difficulty to enjoy what you have. The more you achieve in your life, the more you'll want to achieve. When you notice that something is lacking in your life, you'll want to change it. This carries the risk that you'll never be able to enjoy what you have or unrealistically expect that everything and everyone needs to be perfect. Sooner or later, ideally sooner, you'll need to learn how to be grateful for what you have and be content with it. Day 277, on making things convenient. Nutritionally speaking, frozen veggies are similar to, and sometimes better than, fresh ones. This makes sense, considering that these veggies are usually flash frozen, which suspends/pauses their aging and nutrient losses, immediately after being harvested. Frozen veggies are often picked in the peak of their season, too. Ronald B. Pegg. Here's the ultimate hack when it comes to eating more vegetables: eat ones that have been frozen. At least 50 to 60% of vegetables I eat have been frozen, the rest are canned and fresh. Research shows that nutrition-wise, frozen vegetables aren't worse, and might be even better, than fresh vegetables. One of the biggest issues when it comes to improving your eating habits is a lack of time or being too lazy to prepare fresh vegetables. You can get rid of this excuse by buying a frozen vegetable mix. Steam it, sprinkle it with some good herbs and spices and voila! You're getting your veggies for the day with no need to go through the entire ordeal of peeling, washing, and cooking fresh vegetables, for which you might not have enough willpower. Please note that this entry isn't merely about frozen vegetables, it's about making sure that your new positive habits are as convenient to stick to as possible. The more convenient you make it to stick to a healthy diet, the more likely you'll be to stick to it. Even if one day scientists discover that frozen or canned vegetables aren't as healthy as the fresh ones, it's still better to eat them than not eat vegetables at all because it's too inconvenient for you to eat them fresh. The same applies to other goals. Yes, it would be ideal if you found a fun outdoor activity, but if you really can't afford to do so, buying some basic equipment and exercising at home, to make it more convenient, is still better than not exercising at all. When you're choosing between failing to stick to a positive habit because it's inconvenient or making it more convenient but perhaps a little bit less effective, choose the latter. Day 278, on the Rent Axiom. The Rent Axiom says that success is never owned. Success is only rented and the rent is due every day. Rory Vaden. The Rent Axiom is a powerful way to look at success. Instead of thinking of success as something that is given to you, thus risking that you'll take it for granted and become complacent, you assume that you only rent it, and to keep it in your life, you need to pay the rent each and every day. Another consequence of adopting this perspective is that you'll stop looking for shortcuts or temporary solutions. The rent is due every day, so it's not like you can take one magic pill and forever solve all of your problems. It's an empowering outlook on life that will help you not only reach success, but also, which is even more important, to maintain it. Thousands of people all over the world have successfully lost weight, started exercising more, built successful businesses, improved their relationships, learned new skills, wrote books, and achieved other goals. However, thousands of them also lost their success when they assumed it was there forever. Spouses stopped putting in the effort. Businessmen let their competition crush them. Dieters reverted to their old habits and regained weight. If you don't want this to happen to you, remember to pay your rent every day and always make sure that your current actions confirm that you deserve the success you've achieved. Day 279, on learning with age. It's very simple. As you grow, you learn more. If you stayed at 22, you'd always be as ignorant as you were at 22. Aging is not just decay, you know. It's growth. It's more than the negative that you're going to die, it's also the positive that you understand you're going to die, and that you live a better life because of it. Mitch Albom. As time passes, one might feel tempted to believe that their best years are behind them. Decay commences, and things can only get worse. How about looking at it from a different point of view and embracing aging as the learning process? I like to say that if in 5 years I'm the same person that I am today, then I'll have failed. Ideally, in 5 years I should feel slightly uncomfortable about the type of a person I was in the past. Aging is not merely about your body's cells dividing and multiplying, it's also about your knowledge, which, if you make an effort to do so, constantly expands, gives you new perspectives and helps you live an ever better life. You can look at aging in both ways, a process of deterioration or a process of improvement. Which attitude will bring more happiness and success in your life? Day 280, on seeing your troubles from the proper perspective. I try to see my troubles in their proper perspective. I say to myself, 2 months from now I shall not be worrying about this bad break, so why worry about it now? Why not assume now the same attitude that I will have 2 months from now? William L. Phelps. At the moment I'm writing this, I'm questioning my ability to persevere for another 2 weeks before I finish this book. I've been working on it for a long time, and it's been my most difficult project so far. The thought that helps me see my current troubles from the proper perspective is imagining myself 2 months from now, when the work is already done and the book is published. In the grand scheme of things, what does 2 additional weeks of work mean? I'm almost done, so now I only need to push myself for a little while longer and the situation will resolve itself. In the past, a friend helped me handle my financial troubles in a similar way. I was worried about the money I owed to the bank, but in the grand scheme of things it mattered little. My friend made me aware that my new business had been making money, it was quickly growing, and it would only be a matter of several months and I'd be debt-free. If you're currently struggling or worrying about something, try to look at your troubles from the perspective of you in the future. If your situation will end in several days or weeks, then is it really such a big problem? Even if it's going to take at least several months, it's still a temporary condition and worrying about it excessively is counterproductive.